On a Tuesday morning in March 2009, Marcus Hartley opened an envelope at his kitchen table in Dayton, Ohio. The return address belonged to his mortgage servicer. He set his coffee down before he finished reading. The letter covered a house Marcus had lived in for 10 years, refinanced twice, and not missed a payment on until 8 months ago. In the next 14 months, he would lose it. Marcus was 47 years old. He managed logistics at a distribution center off Interstate 75. 16 people under him. 11 years with the same company, not one shift missed. He bought his work boots 2 pairs at a time. Linda was 45, a dental hygienist 4 days a week in Centerville. Together, they brought home just under $94,000. 2 incomes, 2 daughters, 1 house, 2 car payments. The house was a 4-bedroom colonial on Pepperwood Drive, purchased in 1999 for $178,000. But by the time their second daughter started walking, the hallway carpet was already worn through in one corner. The debt was ordinary. A Visa charged after a car transmission failed in 2001. A Home Depot card opened for the kitchen renovation. A Chase balance that absorbed 2 medical bills and never fully recovered. By 2003, they carried $38,000 across 6 cards. Minimum payments totaled $840 a month. But Marcus tracked it on a yellow legal pad kept on the refrigerator. He paid every minimum on time. He did not fall behind. The balance on the legal pad never moved. It settled the way something does when it becomes part of the furniture. In early 2004, a loan officer at their credit union called. The house had appreciated to $220,000. There was equity in the property that Marcus and Linda were not using. She walked Marcus through the math. 1 new loan. It'd consolidate everything. The credit card balances erased. A single payment at a lower rate than what he was already sending out each month. He wrote the new figure on the back of a utility bill. The bank recommended it. That is the part this story never spends enough time on. The 2004 refinance closed in April. Marcus and Linda borrowed $240,000 at 5.8% fixed 30 years. The credit cards, all 6 of them, were paid to 0 on the same day, and the new mortgage payment was $1,412 a month. Between the old mortgage and the minimum card payments, they had been sending out over $1,600. The difference was roughly $200 every month. For the first time in 4 years, Marcus took the legal pad off the refrigerator. Linda suggested a trip for the summer. In June, they drove to Myrtle Beach with both kids in the back seat. Marcus put $3,200 on a new Visa he had opened the month before the refinance closed. He told himself it was a one-time thing. The card charged 19.9% interest. By December 2004, the balance was $4,700. By mid-2005, it was $11,200. 3 cards were active again. Different names on the envelopes, the same pattern underneath. In 2005, Marcus received a raise. Linda added a Friday shift. And their combined income crossed $100,000 for the first time. They replaced both cars in the same calendar year. The car payments were manageable. The card balances were manageable. Everything was manageable, which is a different word from resolved, though at the time they felt the same. In early 2006, home values in their neighborhood had climbed to an average of $255,000. The equity position looked strong on paper. A new loan officer at the credit union called in February. He was younger than the first one, but the pitch was the same. Unused equity, reasonable rates. Consolidation made sense. It was a common move for people in their situation. Marcus asked if it made sense. The loan officer said most people in their situation would do the same thing. Marcus did not ask what happened to the ones who didn't. The 2006 refinance closed in March to $287,000 at 6.2%, 30 years. The 3 card balances were paid down. The garage got a new door. That spring, Linda had a conversation with Marcus about adding a deck to the back of the house the following summer. They got a quote from a contractor. They did not place the order. They were not living beyond their means. They were living exactly at them. And each time the weight became visible, they borrowed against the floor beneath their feet to keep the surface level. Between 2003 and 2006, American homeowners extracted more than $800 billion in home equity through cash-out refinancing. Most of them had the same conversation with the same kind of loan officer. Most of them made the same calculation. In the summer of 2007, Marcus's distribution center lost its largest contract. Overtime was suspended first. Then, in January 2008, 3 supervisors were let go, but Marcus kept his position. His base salary dropped by $11,000. They sold Linda's car and shared Marcus's on opposite schedules. They did not use the credit cards. For 4 months, they made the numbers work. By the summer of 2008, average home values in their neighborhood had dropped to $204,000. They still owed $272,000. The gap between those two numbers was $68,000. They listed the house in July. 2 showings in 6 weeks. No offers. The realtor suggested dropping the asking price to $189,000. Marcus did the math on a napkin. Selling at that price would leave them owing the bank $83,000 after the closing, without a house. They took the listing down. They did not call the realtor back. As in September 2008, they missed their first mortgage payment. Linda called the servicer. She was on hold for 40 minutes. The representative told her to call back in 30 days if the situation had not resolved. She wrote the servicer's phone number on the back of that same utility bill, the one where Marcus had written the monthly payment 4 years earlier. I don't know why that detail stays with me, but it does. They applied for a loan modification in October. The paperwork was 63 pages. Marcus and Linda completed it at the kitchen table over 2 evenings. The first submission was returned. A form was incomplete. The second was confirmed, received in November. They waited 11 weeks without a call. The third submission was lost in the servicer's system. A fourth submission was acknowledged on January 14, 2009. The review process, the servicer said, would take 60 to 90 days. Marcus asked what they should do about the payments in the meantime. He was told to keep trying. That the modification was denied in February. The letter cited insufficient income to support the modified terms. Their combined income at that point was $79,000. The threshold the bank used was not disclosed. Marcus called the credit union, the same one that had arranged both refinances. He asked to speak to someone about his options. The loan officer who had recommended the first refinance no longer worked there. But theirs was not the only house on Pepperwood Drive that went into foreclosure that year. It wasn't even the second. Everyone had followed the same advice. Everyone had run the same numbers. The foreclosure completed in June 2010. Marcus and Linda Hartley moved to a 2-bedroom apartment in Kettering, 12 miles from Pepperwood Drive. The monthly rent was $850. The apartment did not have a garage. There was a numbered parking lot. Marcus's truck was in space 17. Well, most mornings before work, he checked it from the kitchen window. Their older daughter had started at Ohio State the previous fall. She applied for the maximum available financial aid package. Their credit situation made co-signing any private loan impossible. Marcus found a new position at a distribution center in Vandalia. Similar work, lower base pay. He accepted a 12% reduction to secure it. He had not missed a shift. The new center did not offer the pension plan that his previous employer had matched. Marcus enrolled in what was available, but he did not discuss the details with Linda. Linda reduced to 4 days. The Friday shift she had added in 2005 had been filled during her absence. She put her name on the waiting list. They did not talk about Pepperwood Drive often. When they did, Marcus said the same thing each time. They had done what the bank recommended. They had done what the numbers suggested. He said they had done what their neighbors were doing. He was not wrong. And that was the thing about it. He was entirely correct. And it changed nothing at all. Yet their credit score in 2010 was 534. They were not eligible for a mortgage. The apartment lease ran month to month. In the 4 years following the foreclosure, Marcus and Linda moved twice, both times to slightly smaller places, slightly farther from where they had started. This wasn't the only time this happened. Marcus still has the utility bill. It is in a kitchen drawer in Kettering, folded the way it was the first day he wrote on it. But it made sense. At the time,